because change is hard, right? So this is all interconnected. So we have to rebuild trust, we have to show ourselves that we're keeping those promises, and we can't expect our subconscious to get on board. Very much aware of the power of our subconscious. So the simplest way I describe it, and this is why I will always say change is hard. It's universally hard for all of us. I want to normalize that, though. I mean this when I say this, because I think a lot of people become really self-deprecating. I'm lazy. I'm undisciplined. I just can't do this. I'm hopeless. When they realize change, when they live the experience of change being hard. The reason why change is hard is so our subconscious, it's a silly description, but I say we each have a little avatar. You have a Lewis one. I have a Nicole one. So because what our subconscious has done, and this blows my mind, it has logged every experience that we've had on this thus far until today, and will continue to log every experience we have in life until we're no longer on this planet, which is a lot of shit. And because we're very habitual, we need our subconscious. So this is me saying, thank you, subconscious. We need it to some extent, because without some things automatized, some things in that program, if I had to wake up every day and remind myself and consciously think about being human, brushing my teeth, walking, driving, we would be debilitated. So we need this. However, what happens is because we're so habitual, what is in there are our behavioral habits. It more or less knows what we do first thing in the morning, last thing before bed. It knows the habitual thoughts that we think. It knows how those thoughts make us feel, right? So it has our little avatar. Mm-hmm. It registers things in a very black and white way. This is a very simplified description. It registers things in a very black and white way. The one end of the spectrum being familiar equals safe, good. Unfamiliar equals unsafe, possibly even threatening, bad. Right? So logically, right, you might sit across from me and you might say, I want to start this new habit first thing in the morning. Or I'm going to start to say new affirmations. I am good enough. Or I want to give myself a feeling of peace. All I know is stress. Tomorrow comes and you give yourself one of those. You make the choice to have one of those new experiences, and your subconscious is going to register that as unfamiliar. And then one of two, maybe both things are going to happen. What I call mental chatter, the endless litany of reasons why not to do or never to do this thing again. It sucks. It's terrible. It's bad for you.
It's hard.
Or dangerous. Oh, what are you doing? And or, because some of us get this, we'll start to feel, whether it's physiological, an agitation. Sometimes it'll be described, I'm just crawling out of my skin. Sometimes I just won't feel like me. I'll start to feel weird. And again, that is the power of the subconscious. So for both of those reasons, before I know it, I'm right back in that comfort zone. I'm doing back what I'm used to doing, thinking, feeling, because it's familiar. Yeah. So that's why change is hard.
So how do we stay consistent with the change?
So the language I use is a small daily promise. And I put emphasis on that small, because I know, speaking about expectations again, we as humans can tend to, and a lot of us, I'm a perfectionist, we set the bar so high up for ourselves that is so damaging, because what we're looking for is consistency. I mean, that's what this means, to heal holistically, to create habits. It's not every other day we do it, or maybe this time and then next week I'll try it again. It's doing this each day. But the higher the bar is, if I don't meet that bar, I become so disempowered. I'm not going to show up and try to meet that bar again tomorrow. Hell no. I'd rather do any other thing on the planet. So setting up those small expectations.
It's almost like, okay, instead of saying I'm going to work out every day, it's saying I'm going to put on my tennis shoes and I'm going to take one step outside.
Yeah.
One step. Because that's going to ultimately lead you into doing more steps. Yep. As opposed to saying, okay, I'm going to floss all my teeth every night when I've never flossed. I'm just going to floss one tooth.
Yeah.
If you get out the floss and do one tooth, you're going to do another one, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you stop after 4 or 5,
and
but
even
if
you only do that one, this is also what I suggest. Notice each and every time you kept that promise, because that's you get what I say, getting past your mind. Because tomorrow when you go to floss that one tooth, and maybe it just was one tooth, right? Your mind is going to tell you all the reasons not to floss that one tooth again. Right? So the more you show yourself that consistency, and the way I put it is we're rebuilding trust in ourselves. Most of us have, I say self-betrayal. Most of us have started to not trust ourselves and not trust our word, because we don't keep our word to ourselves, because change is hard. Right? So this is all interconnected. So we have to rebuild trust, we have to show ourselves that we're keeping those promises. And we can't expect our subconscious to get on board. I joke and I say we can't wait for that cheerleading squad, and some of us wait to want to, or to feel like we want to. So I'm always on my story saying, I don't want to do this shit, but I'm doing it anyway, because I've now built a trust in myself that I keep my word, and my subconscious still gives me all of the reasons not to do it, even years later into this. But the more you keep those promises and notice yourself keeping them, you start to trust yourself.